Okay, 1836, good luck. We've not played before, there's no head-to-head score there. 3,500 games for my opponent, that's really good. So it's 10 times what I've done in Rapid. How do I want to do this? I'll just develop. We'll go London Star for this game, I think, rather than my normal G3. So probably this, but I'm just really trying to get the bishop out and castle. Oh, my opponent's just disconnected and reconnected there. It might just be an internet connection issue. It says decent connection, but yeah. Well, let's hope it's alright. Well, let's get the bishop actually right up. We're just, like I say, aiming to still castle. Okay, so he comes forward. So I'll get castled. Now c3 gives me flexibility to drop the bishop back. And then still target this diagonal. He plays forward, so I'm going to do that. c3, so now I've got the option to easily drop back. He might even go b5 here, but that kind of just pushes me where I want to be anyway. He has, so I'll drop right back. I just disconnected again. Yeah, it seems like it is an internet issue. I've done it. It always bothers me a bit though when you see him disconnecting off the game like that, but not off the actual site. Unless it's just the way that Lichess is working, so the way that that works, I don't honestly know. But that profile one isn't actually going on and off in the same way. Okay, now he wants to do this, I guess, but I think I can just simply push a pawn up if he does. Now I do have knight up. Knight in, take the bishop. If he takes, I can take the knight as well. So I think I'm going to go forward and target the bishop. If knight in, I think I'll probably take the bishop rather than take the knight, but let's just see what he does. Okay, so he's played the bishop forward. I don't think I've got any sacrifice there. I don't think there's something like that on. No, I'm just going to take the bishop. Okay, now I can drop back, I can take, I can just go for development. I'm actually going to drop the bishop back. Probably take this way. He could go queenside, it wouldn't be unusual to do that. And then just fly everything down the board. I wouldn't be too surprised. Okay, well, doesn't that allow me just to push here? I think that just gives me a tempo to kick the knight backwards. And then get my knight into play. Maybe even start pushing quickly. Okay, get the knight up. Try and come across and then activate the queen. Maybe even think of pushing here. He might try and clog it up, I suppose. This pawn could be a bit loose. So do we push while we've got the chance? Not quite, not quite. I'm going to play rook across. I think c5 is going to come at some point soon. So now if the knight comes in, I've got the option to drop the bishop back and still guard my pawn. That's what he's aiming for. So do I do b4? It allows his knight in, but it really clamps down on this and this. But it's a real big risk this, but I'm going to do it. Knight in, I'll just simply take. Now I'm going to try and work on pushing this pawn, I think. I mean, I can always potentially jump around as well. Oh, he's played rook back to go the other side now. So do we try and beat him to the punch? Do we play knight across first? It allows him in. But here, I guess he could counter it. Take, take, take. Queen takes. There isn't a jump up. I'm going to do it though. I could be left with a backward pawn and an easy target, so I'm going to do it. He's probably going to push rather than take. Oh, he did take. Okay, I'll take it back. Now can I do this with a view to coming in? Knight across, knight down, knight up. He does have potentially knight down, but I can still guard my bishop, so that makes sense to me. Try and jump a knight forward, and probably this bishop back at some point. Puts the knight a little bit further away from his king though, so I can't really attack with it quite so easily. Yeah, you can see disconnecting, reconnecting there. It's a bit off-putting, but hopefully it's okay. It just makes me wonder why it does it like that on the actual game, but it's not doing it on the site indicator. That's not changing at all. Obviously how sensitive that is and how it works under the hood, I'm obviously not sure. No, what do we do? What do we do? I think I want to move like queen up to centralize the queen. The rook can connect. We can still try and push. We guard this pawn so the rook's free to wander off. If he comes down now, I've got the option to take as well. Can I do this? Take, 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 take. Maybe he can then push. Rook across. Can I just target this pawn actually with a move like bishop back? Or bishop right back? Maybe. Maybe. The queen's kind of guarding everything nicely here. He can always try and push himself, I suppose, but bishop back. We target the pawn. That might be a good move though. Although I do have bishop back to still create a threat. But is it too dangerous to grab a pawn? I'm going to drop back and I'm going to take a risk on isolating a pawn there and hope I can push forward. So I think I'm going with this one if he takes, not this one. Although if he takes check across, that's actually a mate and 2 threat in it, so he can't take this move. Okay, so he's pushed forward, so we could actually try and grab a pawn. But can we safely do it? If we take, he's got no way to double up on the A file right now, and we can drop the knight back and the rooks guard each other, so I think I can just grab a pawn and come back. So I'm going to do it. See, I'm still a little bit down on the clock. I don't want to burn all my time. So intention is to simply come back, and then if we trade, okay, I'm up a pawn. It's a double pawn, but it's still a pawn. So my intention is to simply come back here before he manages to obviously pile everything on the one file. Okay, he's played knight back, so I assume I need to come back straight away here. He could play knight forward, he could take the rook. I'll pre-move in case he does that. If he doesn't play knight in, f3 might be a sensible move, but it might be too late once his knight gets established. But f3 just to stop these moves. That makes sense to me again. It's very weakening potentially. Further down the line you can imagine the rook's doubling up on this file. But it stops a lot of these jumps, at least in the short term. Well, rook a6 could be potentially strong as well. Threatening to double my rooks up, and I'm guarded by my queen, aren't I? Still rook a6 now. If takes, I can still take here. If I take, he just gets a lot of control on this file, but rook a6 creates pressure, allows me to potentially double up. So I think I'm going to do that. If he takes, I'll be taking back. My queen still guards my rook. So we've both used about half of our time now. So played queen across. So I'm going to double up here. I might go with the queen this time if he trades. Well, he does. So if I go with the queen, I'm pressuring the rook if he doesn't take back. And if he trades, obviously I'll take back. Pressure on the pawn. Bishop's coming in quickly, potentially. But still not easy to convert a win here. So potentially bishop up to pressure the pawn here. He's just creating a one-move threat, but surely king up. I guess it does allow rook down here. So king up, rook across, rook across, rook across. Doesn't look that brilliant for me. King here looks perfectly safe, but he's still got rook across to come down. So can I afford to take and run my pawn? Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to go here to guard for now. I expect a move like rook across. Maybe I can just take. Rook down, check. King moves, pawn up. If he takes, pawn up, he can take. He might be just in time. Okay, he's gone back. But now bishop up. I don't think he can guard this pawn. With a double attack. He might have to take a risk with a move like pawn 4, but I think I can ignore it. I think I can. So he's played rook up, so surely I just take. He'll want to come across somewhere. Maybe just bishop up and pawn up looks strong. But if I go with my bishop, there's less risk of him infiltrating. But how do I break through? No, it still feels right to me to go with a bishop, drop back and pawn up, and try not to let his rook round the back. So get the bishop out of there. Idea is pawn up, but you can imagine the rook still getting in and causing a bit of a problem. But the pawn is very close to pushing on here. But I think I do like this one, although does it give his knight a useful square? No, after we take though, I'm taking with a bishop. If the knight jumps in, I'll just simply take it. If the bishop and knight come off, obviously I should be better. I'm 2 pawns up, so it should be good to trade pieces. Should be. I'm going to take. If knight takes, I think I still have bishop back. If takes, I go here, I think. It's not without risk, this. Not without risk, but there is pressure on the pawn. Obviously, you can take, and I can take with a check. The knight would attack the bishop, so I need to take with the bishop, I think. Oh, he has taken, so I'm going to take with check. I wonder if he can actually get away with coming forward, because there's no dangerous discovery, I don't think. But he has gone back. So what about rook down now to attack the knight? Actually, what about rook across, threatening to get the rook off the board? Rook across. I'm going to try and get the rook off the board if I can. So at least there's a threat there, and he's allowed it as well. Okay. So check, takes, takes, and I'm very close, aren't I? I think this is winning for me. He's going to realise he's got a very big problem trying to stop my pawns now. He might be able to do it, of course. But I'm not worried about him taking on f3. I can simply take back. Oh, king up. So that just hangs the rook. So is there anything better like take first? I don't think so. I'm just going to take the rook. Okay, takes. So I assume I jump across now. Let's come right over. Can I get a pawn forward here? Okay, I have to come back. Then take one of them and then push my pawn up. Okay, so up. If you come across up again, and I don't think you can stop it. He's got check and he goes here though, so there is a move for him there. So here, check. Well, anywhere. Here, takes. Here. And I don't think he can stop it. So I think I'm fine just to push the pawn up. Here, I go here or here, and I create an attack on the knight. Probably here. So if I go here now, I attack the knight. If he takes, just push the pawn up, and I don't think he can stop me getting a queen. Just push. The king can't obviously step backwards. The knight can't cover the queening square. So that should be good enough. Should be. Okay, we get the win.